Hi, today's good person to know is Barry Flaherty. He's associate at Mediaventura, a corporate financial house for the digital sector specialising in the seed stage, but also bigger companies in the digital space. He tries to help companies secure funding in 5 to 10 months. Barry says you have to be prepared, otherwise that will set you back months, and that's time you don't have. So what does it mean to be prepared? You have to have a solid business plan, have a realistic valuation, have done market and industry research, and be ambitious and have a great story. Barry says there's no such thing as free money. Everything costs, from legal advisors, financial advisors, your time away from the business, hiring experts, and then there's also the arrangement fees, and you need to factor those costs in. There's also a whole load of things that you have to do, like what documents you have to go through, the procedures that involved, and that's even just before getting funding. And then during the investment process itself, there are different stages that you have to go through. Gosh, it all sounds a bit too daunting for me. Plain and simply, view it like a job and having an interview. Do your research and be prepared. And that's why you need someone professional to bring it all together. It's handy if you know somebody in the inside, but if you don't, be creative and try and win them over that way. Now, if you don't know how to go about getting funding, don't know what the process is or what you need to do, this video is very useful for you. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching.
We literally try and work with companies that can get to where we need to get to in 5 to 10 months rather than 5 to 10 years. So generally when they come to us, I mean, the question always is, do I need an advisor? We'll probably talk about that a bit tonight. Yes, you do. Maybe no, you don't. And it is around team, defensible valuation, strong proposition, good in-depth knowledge of your product, service and market, and what the total size of the market is, what you think is realistic and what you can get for that. Get your business plan, know the team, work out the gaps, get a valuation that sounds credible, know your product and market, know the size of it, show ambition and have a great story. These are all things that's going to take you 6 months to a year, in realistic terms, to crack before you even sit down and talk to an investor realistically. And I think it's frustrating when people phone us up and say, hey, we're ready, and then we look at the whole thing and say, well, actually you're not, and you're 3 to 6 months away from being ready. Calm your boots, go and get some money. There's no free money either. You have to pay an advisor, you have to pay a lawyer, you have to take time away from the business. You have to basically hire in experts. There's arrangement fees on the back end of the deal that VCs are looking for, that due diligence companies are looking for, and so on and so on. You need to weigh all this up before you launch in. It's not just a question of, I finish my business plan, I'm going to go and raise £1 million in a few weeks. It's a summary, the investor deck, the investment memorandum, is it compliant, is it with a credible advisor, the P&L, the supplementary information you get asked on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th investor meeting if you make the investment committee stage. There's a real deep dive into your business. If you haven't got that ready, you're just going to push the whole process back 2 months if that's not already thought about. So there is a sort of checklist, from a compliance point of view. Now the FSA, or the Financial Conduct Authority as they're calling themselves, are now really drilling down to make sure that all information is provided in a timely and secure manner. As the entrepreneur, you have a fiduciary duty as a shareholder to provide stuff. As the advisor and a lawyer, in your case, we're looking for transparency, and if there's any litigation, if there's anything bad or any sort of skeletons in cupboards, we want to know about it, because it will all come out at some point in the process. And all this kind of, all this pulling it out of you, it's digital sources, my business partner's got that, this piece of information's over there. You need to pull all that together. You need someone with a professional eye that's going to look at that from a compliance, security, accounting, financial, marketing, sales, business model, commercial modelling. The whole thing needs to be pulled apart and almost put back together. And that's the level of granularity that we'd like to get to. Sometimes people are a bit more advanced than others, as I said. Some investors have already raised funding in the past, who know the drill, who know the process. Sometimes entrepreneurs have been investors themselves and know what to prepare. So again, it depends on a case-by-case basis, but the answer to the question is you should not go into it and underprepare, because all it's going to do is slow the whole process down later on when you get to the marketing or the negotiation phase. A lot of you guys, the first port of call when you reach institutional investors is an analyst, a junior analyst type person who's very smart, but that's what they are. And then you work your way up through into the investment committee stage later on. So there's various kind of hoops you need to jump through to get to that. And these analyst guys essentially will tell you yes or no from the first pass. These are the gatekeepers to whether you made the final cut. So, you know, their job is to analyse and crunch the data, and they want all the information quickly and in a timely fashion. If you're going in at a more senior level and you've got a personal relationship, or you've been introduced through a friend or through a mutual acquaintance, it's easier to circumvent a lot of that red tape and sort of stages that you need to go through. So again, it sounds like we're fudging here, but it depends, you know, where you're hitting inside the investment organisation. Get creative. It doesn't have to be a 32-page paper document that's bounded and distributed, or PDF document. I mean, there's a million things you can do to present you and the business and the team in a very, very creative way that can just cut all that in half. You can't be lazy around it. You still have to communicate the proposition. Even though the product is what it is, you still have to, you know, excite investors and create some kind of value proposition that's going to get, you know, it's a recruitment tool, it's an investment tool. Do your research, be prepared, get introduced if you've got access to lawyers, accountants, people who hang around with investors. Corporate finance guys like us, you know, if I make a call to you, you pick up the phone. If you make a call, you might not. So it does. That's the hierarchical thing that sometimes works. Be a nuisance in a good way. Be prepared when you get your chance, whether it's the elevator pitch or it's a document or whatever it is you've been asked to send along, etc. You know, and treat it like a job. You know, if you prepare for a job, get your CV in order and make sure that there's a fit. Cultural fit, technical fit, commercial fit, and you've read the website.